Hoa. My hair look good? Wonderful. Hello, peoples of the internet. Today I'm going to be talking about a creator named Donut Operator, and specifically a breakdown he made of the Keenan Anderson shooting. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably know who Donut Operator is, but he's a YouTuber who is also a cop, well, an ex-cop at least. And he makes content specifically about police officer topics and makes a lot of breakdowns of police officer action. Now, I totally get it. ACAB. All cops are bad. That means that we must hate them. Now, let me just get my biases out of the way. I actually have watched Donut Operator for a while. Recently I've been watching him less just because I haven't been as interested in his content. But I actually respected him to a certain extent. Now, Donut Operator kind of portrays himself as a moderate voice of reason, and he tries to act like he's non-political. He's definitely political. He is a political channel, even though he says he's not. And his politics are fairly obvious. It's fairly obvious based on his Twitter and his YouTube that he is a conservative. I don't believe he is a far-right conservative, but he is definitely a conservative. But that's irrelevant. I actually like watching people with different perspectives and different views because it lets me broaden my knowledge base and also lets me understand why people with different views have those opinions. And I think it's really useful to have a a complete, there we go, that's the word. A complete view of politics. And while I disagreed with him, I felt that he was at least honest with the information he put forward. I often disagreed with his analysis, but I at least to a certain extent trusted him. Recently, my trust for him has definitely decreased, and it kind of makes me doubt his presentation of his past videos I have watched. So let's get into that video right now. You can see, based on my blank computer screen, that I actually did not prepare ahead of time, and I still need to find the video.
They're trying to kill me! They're trying to kill me! No!
Hi everyone, Donut here. I haven't posted in a week, but look, I'm back here with another unbiased police incident that is taking the national news by storm. With titles like, Black man fatally beaten by the LAPD and repeatedly screamed they're trying to George Floyd me as he fought for his life. Police body cam footage shows LA teacher who died after being tased multiple times. Black Lives Matter co-founder's cousin Keenan Anderson dies after LAPD officers use taser on him.
Okay, so, first of all, you found like a tiny news organization, Hip Hop Vibe. Literally never heard of them. It says follow view profile, so this is not an actual like news place, or maybe it's like a tiny independent publisher. Nobody cares about them. If you're looking at your actual like more reputable news source, Rolling Stone, I don't always agree with what they put out. I often do, but they're actually reputable. And they say police body cam footage shows LA teacher who died after being tased multiple times. How is that wrong? He got tased okay, if you know about the situation, this is the most unbiased title I have ever seen. It literally just states what happens exactly.
As most of the things that I put on this channel, I'm going to be unbiased. I'm going to be going between multiple sources, trying to find the truth in the middle.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, he's a moderate, unbiased view on the matter and giving you all the facts and cutting through the misinformation. That is like the persona that he pushes forward. So that's like a big part of who he shows himself as on the internet.
LAPD reports, news reports, dumbasses on Twitter. Speaking of, I first found this incident on Twitter from the user 50 Shades of Way. He is a freelance reporter with about 300,000 followers, who commonly posts a couple seconds to a minute of police incident content or other stupid shit without any context. With that being said, I'm not saying this incident was right or wrong. That's for you guys and a grand jury to decide. I'm just here for the context and honest delivery. The video, currently as I am filming this that I'm about to show you, has 1.4 million views.
Stop it right now. Stop it right now. Turn over. Turn over, I'm gonna tase you. Turn over or I'm gonna tase you. Turn over or I'm gonna tase you. Yes. I can't. Watch your elbow, partner.
You're trying to jaw floor me. You're trying to jaw
Stop it. Stop it or I'm gonna tase you. Okay, stop it or I'm gonna tase you. Stop it or I'm gonna tase you. Stop resisting.
Please.
Stop resisting.
Please. Please. Please.
I'm gonna tase him. I'm gonna tase him.
You're trying to kill me.
At about the 35-second mark, while the suspect is still resisting, an officer says, "I'm going to use my taser," and he deploys the taser probes. Mind you, he said he's going to...
You can notice that he cut off the Twitter video a little bit early there, and didn't show how long he actually got tasered. Maybe he's gonna show the whole thing in one go in the future of this video. Maybe it's just to save time now so he can show the whole thing later. I really hope that he actually shows all of the time he gets tasered. That would be great.
Mind you, he said he's going to use his taser, I think it was 12 to 14 times. He said, "I'm going to use my taser, stop resisting," so he deploys the taser probes. Gather around, folks, I'm going to tell you how a taser works real quick. There are two ways to use a taser. You deploy the taser probes, the two little guys, and if they stick in your skin good enough, then it works. You stiffen up, you can't talk, and your life sucks for 5 seconds. The Slow-Mo guys created a video about 7 years ago demonstrating a pretty cool taser deployment. That's the first way a taser works. The second way a taser works is by drive stunning. You know the stun gun that your mom keeps in her purse or that someone in high school had and you f around with it and you poke each other with it? You guys didn't have taser fights in high school? What is the world coming to? The tip of the taser makes a little electrical arc that you could just stick to people. It makes people comply pretty well. At the 35-second mark into the video...
Alright. A little bit of extra information that he doesn't bring up in this video is tasers can kill you. Even if you're a totally healthy, normal person, a taser can just kill you. It happens sometimes. If you have things like pre-existing heart conditions, your likelihood of dying to a taser becomes way higher. But the thing is, police officers on call have no way of knowing if the people that they're arresting have pre-existing heart conditions. They just don't know. So they could just be shooting someone with a taser that's way more likely to die. So, a taser is a potentially lethal weapon, which means that it should be used responsibly. One thing about police in America is if you have a potentially dangerous person, police often have at least 2 weapons pointed at them. Most police precincts will not just point a taser at someone who's potentially dangerous. They will point a taser and a gun, because tasers, like he said, miss a lot of the time because they get caught in a hoodie or something like that. So, if they fire the taser and it doesn't work, and then the person charges at them or something, the other police officer will shoot them. So, because tasers are potentially deadly weapons, they should only be used in potentially deadly situations. When someone poses a threat of major physical harm. When someone's doing something like waving around a knife. That's a perfect time to use a taser. A taser should not be used when you already have someone detained. If they're no longer posing a threat to anyone, you shouldn't be using a taser. And also, if you use a taser for too long, you increase the risk of hurting someone by a lot more. You shouldn't just prolong tase someone because that can kill them. There's specific protocols that you have to follow that the officer in this video did not.
Video, the officer does deploy his taser, but it appears that it doesn't make a good connection through the guy's hoodie. This means that the officer moves to the second option that you can use with a taser, which is drive stunning, to get the man to put his hands behind his back. After getting drive stunned for a couple of seconds, the suspect starts saying yes sir and stops fighting, but then immediately yells no and continues resisting.
Yes, sir. Don't resist.
No.
Hey, stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Okay.
Stop it.
Help.
Stop
Help,
it.
please. Help.
Do not
I'm not
move.
resisting. I'm not resisting.
Do not move.
Okay.
If not, I'm gonna tase you again.
Okay.
Okay, I got one.
Okay. Help me. Okay.
Here, hold on. Stop it. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Again, they do continue to taser longer than what is shown here.
Let's see what other large activists on Twitter are saying about this before we get into the context of the video. You know, the whole video. The video that was posted by 50 Shades of Way that has 1.4 million views at time of filming says, "Warning graphic, the LAPD tased a black man to death after he flagged them down for help. At one point, he says, they're trying to George Floyd me. Keenan Anderson was a dedicated father and high school teacher. Aw, man, that guy blocked me. Why, Qasim Rashid? Thank you, Chrome Incognito. Keenan Anderson, a 31-year-old high school teacher and father, stopped LA police for help after an accident. They instead cuffed him, pinned him, and tased him repeatedly as he begged for them to stop. Keenan died of cardiac arrest from excessive tasing. His crime, asking police for help. Not quite. We'll get into that here in a minute.
Okay, so let me just get this out of the way. That the two people that he shows here are definitely being very dishonest. They're leaving out a lot of context. Maybe they weren't given all the context and they're not lying and they're just misinformed, but these people are calling themselves journalists, so they should do some research before just saying stuff. And I believe in police reform. And I think what these two are doing is actually pretty harmful to the movement of police reform because you don't need to lie. Police do plenty of awful things that you can show. You don't have to lie to show why you need to change how policing works.
You guys want some context? January 3rd, 2023, the worst city in America. A motorcycle cop was flagged down by several people who were involved in a vehicle accident. Those people in this accident pointed out a man who they stated had caused the accident.
I think the guy up there needs help though, because the guy's trying to run away. The guy who's driving this car,
Let's go get him. Let's go.
Okay, I don't know why that guy running to his police car and saying, "Oh shit, let's go get him," just seemed like really bad acting in like a low budget movie. Why did it seem like he was acting?
there needs help though, because the guy's trying to run away. The guy who's driving this car,
let's go get him. Let's go.
I'm not trying to say this is fake. This isn't fake. This is real. I don't know why. It's just funny to me how he did it.
Let's go get him. Let's go.
I'm stupid and weird. Ignore me.
That was the man who we just saw in the previous video resisting arrest, Mr. Keenan Anderson. Police stated that he was acting erratic and running in the middle of the road when the officer pulled up. The officer went over to Mr. Anderson, asked him to sit down, and requested more units for a possible driving under the influence suspect. Anderson then ran into the middle of the street and a foot chase was on.
Get off to the side here. Get on the street. Hey, stop right there. Get up against the wall.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Get up against the wall.
Please, sir, I didn't mean to.
Get up against the wall.
I didn't
Get
mean
up against the wall real quick.
Please.
Okay,
Please,
hold on
God.
a second.
Please,
Hold
sir,
on a
I didn't
second.
mean to, sir, please.
Hold on,
Please,
okay?
oh my God.
Possible DUI driver. I get additional units, please.
The car.
Okay, what happened?
I lost my key.
You lost your key?
Yes. I came and I had somebody fix my car for me, sir. Please, don't, please,
Okay,
sir.
do me a favor, sit in
please.
here. Hey,
Sir, please.
sit down on your butt and sit with your legs crossed. Sit
Somebody
with your
gonna
legs
try to
crossed.
kill me, sir.
Sit with your legs
Please.
crossed.
They're gonna try to kill me, please.
Who's trying to kill you?
I had a stunt today.
What?
I had a stunt today, sir.
You
I didn't mean to.
had what?
A stunt. Like, no, that's a car.
Okay, what car were you driving?
BMW.
The BMW.
They're gonna try to put stuff in my car.
Who's trying to put stuff in your car?
They're gonna try to.
The LAPD cut off about 7 minutes before the foot chase was about to happen because the officer was sitting there trying.
Okay, so I actually watched the video, and the first officer, the officer that you see right now that was interacting with Keenan, I think I pronounced his name right. I'm horrible with names, but I'm just going to keep saying Keenan. The first officer who was talking to Keenan and trying to calm him down, he actually did like a pretty damn good job at doing what he was supposed to do. He tried to de-escalate the situation. He did his job of keeping other people safe and also did his job of keeping Keenan safe, even though he was the suspect of a crime. He just all around handled it really well. The first officer, I don't believe, was the one who tased him. That was another officer, but like the first officer did a great job. That's how you should police in these situations. I'm not just trying to shit on the first officer. I think that he did a fine job at doing what he needed to do.
Trying to calm down Anderson, just trying to figure out what was going on and what had happened. They picked it right back up before he ran off.
Hey, stay
Please.
here. Stay here.
Sir, I need
Stay
some water.
here.
Can you get some water? Please.
Stay here. I'll get you some water here in a second, okay?
Please.
Just have a seat up against the wall there,
Yes, sir.
okay? Have a seat against the wall.
Sir,
Have a seat against the wall here.
Everybody got to see me, sir.
Have a seat
I don't want
against
to
the
be in the
wall
black.
over here.
I want people to see me.
Sure. Okay, you can sit
Please,
right there
sir.
then. If you want to be seen,
I don't
sit
wanna
right there.
No, I don't want to sit right there.
Sit right there if you want to have somebody see you.
Please.
Okay?
Please.
Just sit down for me a second here, okay?
Like, the officer's just doing fine here. He's doing everything he needs to do. He's doing a great job at de-escalating. I have 0 notes.
Please, look, sir.
Sit down for me. Sit down.
You're putting a thing on me.
Sit down.
Making
I'm
me
not
hot.
putting anything. Come here.
Please.
Sit down over here.
Please.
I don't want you in the road.
Please.
Come here. I don't want you in the road. Come here.
Please.
Come here.
Please.
Come here.
Please. Please.
Come here.
The cop is being super courteous and trying to figure things out. When the guy who just caused a pretty big wreck then tried to jump into someone else's car to flee the wreck, oh yeah, that happened too, endangering himself and other drivers by running into the middle of the road, someone's got to go into cuffs at that point.
Yeah, he can't let him walk into the road. Like, the officer can't just let him walk into the road. He's posing a risk to other people because it can cause a car accident that could kill people, and he's also posing a risk to himself because he could get run over by a car. Like, at this point, he definitely does have to do something, so, yeah.
Now! Get down over there! Turn over on your stomach right now! Turn over on your stomach right now! Turn over!
Yes.
Turn over!
He initially complies to the officer saying get down, but then starts resisting arrest. A lot of people on the internet think that the video we watched on Twitter where they were getting him into cuffs is not him resisting. Resisting doesn't mean someone's actively punching a police officer in the face. There's passive and active resisting. Passive means that they're just not listening to you. Active can be punching, kicking, it can even be bringing your arms to your chest and not wanting to be arrested. It can be stiffening up so that the police can't put you in handcuffs.
Yeah, no, that is true. That if you're just, like, tensing up your muscles and, like, fighting against them, like, putting your arm behind your back, that's still resisting, and that's very hard for police to deal with, especially if there's only one of them. Not a reason to tase someone unless they're posing a threat.
Anything to prevent an arrest physically is active resisting. That's exactly what happens almost this entire video. If a suspect is actively resisting, this means that a police officer can use whatever force that is within their policy and their use of force continuum to get someone into handcuffs.
Yeah, this is why I think that we need a little bit more regulations on the force that police can apply on people, and why it's very important what rules certain districts have on saving lives.
Turn over!
Yes, sir.
Over on your stomach! Get over on your stomach!
Hold on. Okay, please.
Sit down.
Please, sir, please don't do this. Please don't do this, sir. Please. Help me, please.
You know what?
Help me,
Come on,
please.
let's
No, please help me. Help me, please. Please.
At this point in time, Keenan Anderson is in the control of the police. While he is not handcuffed and they have not completed like a full arrest on him, he is no longer posing a threat to people. He doesn't have a weapon. He's not running in the middle of the street. There's police that have control of the situation. He's not a threat to anyone. At this point in time, I don't believe they should use tasers. I don't believe they should use any potentially deadly force. They have multiple police officers, and while it might take a while and might be difficult, they can 100% get him in handcuffs with like the 5 police officers they have on top of him.
Please.
Turn around.
Please. Please. Please.
Keenan,
Relax.
watch out, watch out, watch out.
Help! Help! They're trying to kill me!
Hey, stop him, I'll tase you. Stop him, I'll tase you.
Relo's trying to kill me! I have stuff on YouTube!
Stop it, or I'm gonna tase you.
Yes, sir!
Stop it, or I'm gonna tase you.
Hey, please help me! Help! Help!
Stop it, or I'm gonna tase you. Stop it, or I'm gonna tase you. I'm gonna tase you. Stop it right now. Stop it right now. Turn over. Turn over, I'm gonna tase you. Turn over, or I'm gonna tase you. Turn over, I'm gonna tase you.
Yes!
Watch your elbow, partner.
You're trying to George floor me. You're trying to George
Stop
floor
it.
me.
Stop it, or I'm gonna tase you. Okay, stop it, or I'm gonna tase you. Stop it, or I'm gonna tase you. Stop resisting.
Please.
Stop resisting.
Please. Please. Please.
I'm gonna tase him.
As I said before, I killed it was either 12, 13, or 14. I'm gonna tase you, stop. Which, as we talked about at the beginning of the video, I don't think that the taser probes made a proper connection. That's why I started drive stunning him. They finally get him into cuffs, and he continues screaming about how this is an act and that the officers are actors, and then starts screaming about the officers thinking that he killed CeeLo.
Climb up? Okay, no.
Moving up?
Yeah, just by his knees.
Again, avoiding showing the actual tasing happening. He just skips that part. He just says, and then they start tasing him, and then he skips to the part where they have him in cuffs. A lot is being skipped here.
Trying to kill me. Oh!
No.
Oh!
Nobody's trying to kill you.
Oh, Pilo!
I got him on the ground over there, just sitting on his own, and then he took off into traffic, right?
I don't know. They think I killed Pilo.
I'm not too sure who CeeLo is. They put him on his side and sit him up so that he can breathe, and he's still talking to them. According to the LAPD, fire and EMS arrived 60 seconds later to assess Anderson.
They sedated me. They sedated me.
Sit right there.
Sit enough.
1425
Yeah.
5 minutes after fire and EMS talked to him, EMS transported him to the hospital. 4.5 hours later, while he was in the hospital, reports state that he had a medical emergency and passed away. Toxicology reports state that he had weed and cocaine in his system at the time. The LAPD police chief later stated that he had gotten into a felony hit and run, tried to get into someone else's car to flee the scene, and that was right before the motorcycle officer arrived. While I'm here, shout out to all the death threats that I got by simply stating there was more to this video on Twitter. Fucking blow me. So what do you guys think about this whole thing? Is it lawful but awful? Was that much taser excessive?
Was that much taser excessive? That's the part that really pissed me off. I wouldn't have actually made a video on this if it wasn't for him saying, do you think that the amount of time they tasered him was acceptable? If he wouldn't have said that, I would have been like, okay, that was a little bit dishonestly edited and cut. But he specifically focuses on the part that he edited and cut as part of his point. And that's another thing, is he at the end of his videos oh, I'm just giving you the information and you decide what you think on it. But he frames the information in a way where if you like him and trust him, you're always going to agree with him on his conclusion. He just kind of pretends to give you a choice. I really don't like when people do that. Treat me like I'm not an idiot, and if you're trying to make a point, be honest that you're making a point. You can ask rhetorical questions, and that's fine, but he acts like he's not asking rhetorical questions, and I don't like that. I think just bad. Yeah, I'm watching it again. Donut operator at 3 minutes says, dry stunned him for a couple of seconds. I'm gonna actually go through the video and see exactly how long he was dry stunned. Alright, I just decided that I am not going to go through that video on Adobe Premiere and cut up the frames where the taser is happening and when it's not happening to find out exactly the difference between how much he was tased versus how much donut operators show he was tased. But I can tell you that he was tased a lot longer in the actual video than what donut operators showed. They tase him for a lot more than what donut operator calls a few seconds. And like I said, then asking at the end of his video, do you guys think he got tased too much, when not actually showing how much he got tased is pretty gross and really dishonest. Yeah, I don't like it. Watching this again actually makes me feel more grossed out by it. Could be also because I just rewatched the video where he actually gets tased, how long he gets tased. Now, as to what's going to happen to the police officer who tased him, let me just make double sure. Yeah, it is definitely, I just double checked. Yeah, it definitely is a different officer who tases him than the one who really responsibly dealt with the situation. Now, what's going to happen with this situation and to the officer that tased him a bunch of times? Honestly, it kind of depends on the restrictions for the precinct that he's in and the regulations. He definitely, okay, so in my personal opinion, I don't think he should have used the taser at all. But even if you think that it's okay for him to use the taser in that situation, he used it for way too long and way too long durations. That was unacceptable. He put that man's life at risk. Do I think that this officer should be charged with, like, premeditated murder or something? No. I do think that at the very least this officer needs to be fired and never be hired by another police station again. Just completely removed. No moving to another station. Just gone. Off the list. Blacklisted. And I do think that there probably should be some criminal punishments too. And also, that any lawsuits that happen because of this should affect the LAPD's police budget, because that's the only way to actually make them be held accountable. It shouldn't just be the taxpayers paying for the police's problems. But overall, how the LAPD handled this situation with releasing the footage, I do think that's good, and I do think that's an improvement, and I think that that's positive, and that we need to continue moving in a direction of transparency and accountability. Now that you have at least some transparency with video footage being released, I think that the officers also need to be held accountable. There needs to be some accountability. But yeah, I think that looking at this, if you're a fan of Donut Operator, at least someone that watches him like I used to, that you should at least be a little bit more skeptical of how he frames these videos, and that he actually is often dishonest, because he was dishonest in this video in how he portrayed it, and this incident, and I think that you should take that into account if you use him as a source of information, to always make sure and check yourself. If you like the video, definitely like. Any sort of engagement is good. So if you can comment, if you can like, it really helps put my videos in the algorithm. And that's good, because I think my videos are good. And if you think they're good, then you should help spread them. And also subscribe if you want to see future videos. My mouth is dry. I have a stale soda from... Oh, that's fucking awful. It's not just stale, it had ice in it. So it's diluted 3-day-old stale soda from Taco Bell. Hashtag not sponsored. So I can talk. Ugh. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Alright. Yeah. Hope you guys, don't get tased by the police.